VS Code just put out its first release of 2023. So let's take a look at some of the release highlights from 2022.
First up, Explorer file nesting is no longer experimental. You can nest related files based on their names. By default, this works for TypeScript and JavaScript files, so if I enable this in my settings, you can see the automatic nesting that happens in my Explorer. You can also add new patterns to the Explorer file nesting pattern setting to fit your own project structure. The settings editor now contains a funnel button that allows you to quickly filter settings. If I want to filter based on TypeScript specific settings, I can select language from the dropdown, then type TypeScript. This release has a couple of Markdown updates too. First, you can drag and drop files from the Explorer into the Markdown editor to quickly create links. Just hold Shift while dragging the file over the editor, and a link will be created. It works for images too. You can now also run Find All References in Markdown files. This works for headers, URLs, and files. And to end with some color, bracket pairs are now automatically colored by default. Say goodbye to your unbalanced brackets.
You can now use your gitignore to hide files in the Explorer. In this project, I'm ignoring out, node modules, and yarn.lock. If I open the settings and search for gitignore, I can see the settings for Explorer exclude gitignore. When I toggle this on, you can see that what is included in the gitignore is now hidden in the Explorer. The problems panel can now be toggled between a table and a tree. Just hit this icon here, and you'll see it displayed as a table, which quickly surfaces the source of the problem, and I can also toggle it right back to the tree. Previously, when navigating to a definition for a JavaScript symbol, you only have the Go To definition option, which will navigate to the type definition file. Now in this release, we've added a new Go To Source definition command that will navigate to the actual JavaScript implementation. The team is actively working on improving this feature and would love any feedback from the community. And last but certainly not least, it just got even easier to give your favorite extensions some love. When an extension can be sponsored, you'll see the sponsor button right within VS Code, which will take you to their sponsorship URL. Starting out, you can now easily resolve any merge conflicts in the new three-way merge editor. You can use the checkboxes to accept and combine changes and view the result. This feature will be enabled by default in future releases, but to try it out in this release, you just need to set the Git merge editor setting to true. And once you're happy with your merge resolution, you can now commit using the new commit action button. You can customize this using the post commit command setting, which will let you do a push or sync after the commit with just one click. You can use the window command center setting to enable the new command center. This replaces the normal title bar. You can click to view the quick open dropdown, which shows your recent files in a search box, and you can also view the quick access options. And finally, this release introduces Do Not Disturb mode, which will hide all non-error notification pop-ups. We can see that when I open this project with Do Not Disturb disabled, I get this warning notification pop-up. I'm going to then toggle Do Not Disturb on by opening the notification center and clicking the /bell icon. Now when I load the project, I don't get the notification pop-up, but I can still view it in the notification center. We have an experimental sticky scroll feature. You can see that as I scroll, the top of the editor shows the scope that I am in. For example, when I scroll through different methods, the method definition that I am currently in sticks to the top. You can enable this via the experimental sticky scroll setting. The search view now also supports multi-select. Any actions that you perform on one result in the selection will also be performed on the other selected items. I can select multiple search results that I want to replace, click the replace icon on just one of the results, and the replace action will be performed on all the selected items. We also added an update to the Jupyter notebook experience where you can now jump straight to the most recently failed cell. You can see how helpful this is when I'm running multiple cells at once. Using this new button, I can quickly go right to the cell that failed and troubleshoot it. And last but not least, tree views, such as the File Explorer, now support the Find control. While focused on the tree, you can press Ctrl F or Command F on a Mac to pop up the Find control. You can then use this to highlight matching elements or toggle the Filter button to hide all elements that do not match the search term. The code action UI has been completely overhauled. There is now a custom control that makes it easier to find the code action that you want. This lays the foundation for future UX improvements, so let us know if you have any feedback. After initiating a rename action on a file, you can now press the F2 key to cycle through the file name, entire selection, and file extension to make it easier to rename using only the keyboard. The Jupyter extension now lets users paste screenshots or image files into Markdown cells inside their notebooks. This can be enabled via the notebook setting for paste images and the editor setting for paste actions. There's a lot of cool updates to the terminal this release, like smooth scrolling. Before enabling this setting, scrolling looks like this, and once enabled, you can see that scrolling is animated for a short period of time. The Markdown support in VS Code has been re-implemented to be a full-featured language server. Learn more about it by following this link to the blog post.
You can customize your toolbars by hiding actions. I can right-click on any action in a toolbar and hide it using the hide command or toggle its visibility just below that. I'm going to hide this file annotations menu from Gitlins, and then once hidden, I can still access it in the more actions menu located at the 3 dots in the top right corner. We've added some improved auto scroll behavior. The editor auto scrolls at a more manageable speed, and the further your mouse is from the editor, the faster it will scroll. Have you ever accidentally added an invalid Markdown link and only realized it once you rendered the preview? Well, VS Code now supports Markdown link validation via the Markdown Validate Enabled setting. Here I'm linking to an invalid image, and now VS Code will tell me that the file does not exist at that path. You can now view search results in a tree. You can toggle between the list and tree view by clicking the view tree or view list icon in the top corner of the search view. And finally, in the run task command, you can pin your favorite tasks for easier and faster access. When you right-click a folder in the tree view of the search view results, there are now 2 new options in the context menu. You can restrict search to folder, which will add the selected folder paths to the files to include text box, or you can exclude folder from search to add the selected folder paths to the files to exclude text box. When you enable the Markdown update links on file move setting, VS Code will automatically update links and images in Markdown when files are moved or renamed in the VS Code Explorer. When you enable the Command Center by right-clicking on the title bar and checking Command Center, a new top section has been added to make it easy to discover how to navigate to files, run commands, and more. You'll now see the short list of modes as well as their key bindings. When you're in a GitHub or Azure repos repository on VS Code for the web, committing to a protected branch now notifies you that the current branch is protected and prompts you to create a new branch. You can also create new dep containers based on existing templates. Follow the link to the remote release notes to learn more. Remote tunnels are now available as a preview feature in VS Code Stable. You can now enable remote tunnel access, and once enabled, you can connect to the machine from any device using vscode.dev or the Remote Tunnels extension in the desktop version. Check out this blog post for more details about the feature. Next, you can now hide badges for a more minimalistic editor experience. You can now use the Just My Code feature in Jupyter Notebooks. It's set to true by default, but you can now set it to false to step through library code. You can also now restart the current debug session. This makes it easy to instantly see any edits you've made to the cell when debugging. Finally, have you ever stepped into a file and then it causes a huge folder expansion in the Explorer? Well, now you can configure which files get auto-revealed when the Explorer auto-reveal setting is enabled. In the new auto-reveal exclude setting, you can add a pattern for files that you do not want to auto-reveal.